Thank you.
As we move into our next presenter, he has his own stand-up group that does their own shows in the city, which he can tell you about after his presentation. I'm, of course, talking about Robert Punchur. I've performed all over this country with him. Hopefully he's starting to present his slide. As I give him his intro, I see that he's putting a jacket on in the Zoom. Hopefully it's related to what he's talking about, because I am buying him time like a madman. As we do this, he doesn't even seem to have his hands on the mouse to even try to be presenting his screen. I'm buying so much time for him on his intro page so that you can't see all these mechanics that are happening. Here we go. It looks like his screen is finally presented. Give it up for Robert Punchur. Woo!
Thank you, William. Thank you. He did the intro just as I requested.
Oh, yes.
Perfect amount of words. I'm going to be talking today about statue conquests. It is the art of conquering statues. Specifically today, we will focus on New York City statues, as that is my locale. And that's me. Hello, I'm Robert. I like to conquer statues. Some text. For context, statues actually are not living souls frozen in time. I learned that recently. They are memorials created by a sculptor and not Medusa. Also learned that recently. See, where I grew up, a small town in Pennsylvania, located just between Pittsburgh and Walmart. The closest thing we had to a statue was a rock that kind of looked like Jesus. So when I moved to New York in 2011, I started conquering for fun. And there are, as you all know, over 8 million New Yorkers and over 800 million New York City statues. As a actual figure, I found it using the matrix known as detest. That is Donald's estimation tactic for estimating super tallies. Detest. It's going to be used in the next census. Detest. Results will be hugely detest. Okay. Anyways, the process of climbing a statue is very simple, ladies and gentlemen. First, you must plan. Next, you must climb. And next, you must get the fuck out of there, because you do not know if there's going to be an officer of the law nearby. I don't know the charges. I have not yet been caught in any of my conquests, and we have done quite a few. Over 100 right now, which can be found on Instagram at New York City Statue Conquests. These are some favorites. You see when I conquered love in the top corner, and then when I fell in love in the bottom corner. A nice spring piece in the Upper East Side here. This is Columbus Circle, where I'm in the lap of the gods. And then Times Square in front of a audience of children and Minnie Mouse. It's whenever we could still have people in Times Square, I think. Minnie Mouse is still welcome because she is always wearing a mask. Of course, we no longer have people in Times Square because we are in the age of Corona, which means I have had to do some COVID-conscious conquering. You will see the social distancing in the top picture with the sad seal, just missing the kids who used to play with him in this Lower East Side park. I do have bandanas on, and most of them to cover my mouth. You'll see Martin Luther King in Harlem in the bottom right corner, where he is actually wearing the mask. Now in the bottom left, it's another Harlem sculpture. I, however, have taken the bandana down, but don't worry, there's a fun note there. Mask not needed if they don't have a respiratory system. Okay? Please keep that in mind. Now, of course, that is not the only controversy surrounding statue climbing these days. Because you see, over the past 2 weeks, we have shifted as a public from outrage at cops who kill citizens to outrage at inanimate statues with questionable pasts. And this one here is the 100th statue that I conquered in New York, and it will no longer be in New York in just a short amount of time. It is Teddy Roosevelt in front of the Museum of Natural History. Shown as a great explorer, the downside of this is that, as you can see in this photo, there is a Native American flanking one side. On the other, not pictured here, there is an African American gentleman, and the statue is being taken away for these figures being shown as subservient to Teddy. I would like to point out that I am dominant to Teddy in this picture. I think it's put him in check for all these years of taunting the good people of New York from atop his horse. Some other controversial statues here that have been done. The big one, I regret. To be honest, I'm gonna level with you guys. When I started climbing these, I just did it for fun. I did not think much about the context of it. I did not think much about why the statues were there. I just assumed that it was good people memorialized for good reasons. And since going through the process of researching, I really am doing a coffee table book about this. I've realized that there should be a little bit more intention behind the art. I saw a documentary about Shepard Fairey called Obey Giants, where he was a skate punk that would throw up just Andre the Giant logos on things and didn't mean anything. And then one day he graffitied a political ad campaign, and the guy reached out and said, "Why did you do this? What does this mean?" And he realized the impact of his work and decided to make purposeful art, eventually creating the Obama Hope campaign poster. These images have no purpose. These images were all just for funsies, including that praying nun who I really hope is praying for me there. Ulysses in the Met. That one's only controversial because they say no touching, and I touched. And then the bottom corner is actually a doctor known as the father of modern gynecology who has already been removed from Central Park because he had experimented on slaves. So, what I've learned is what we just said, intention in art. I have learned to look up the history of these pieces. I've learned to be more aware of the context, and also to be accepting that often we do use statues to memorialize imperfect moments in time. For example, Abraham Lincoln there on the right-hand side also did own slaves despite freeing a lot of slaves. And he also had a man bun even more atrocious than mine under his top hat. Little known fact. Also learned that Life Underground exists. This is just a fun collection of pieces in 14th Street in New York City. It touches on what I was just saying about good art representing bad times. All of these pieces were created by a man named Tom Otterness, and they are to help depict New York City in the time of Boss Tweed, which is a time full of corruption. But they're made to be interactive, so children can enjoy them and learn about this history without just pure hatred. Because if we are to start taking down every statue of every person who has ever had a questionable past, does that mean we have to remove all war memorials because they were killers? Does that mean we have to remove all statues of animals? This series here can be a testament to. Birds on Broadway is a temporary exhibition on Broadway in Manhattan. It stretches from, I believe, the 50s up until I want to say 65th, but a strip of the west side of New York City. There's quite a few bird sculptures made out of wood popping up. Each one represents an endangered bird species, which right now all statues are endangered when a Karen is near. Yes, including these statues of animals. The bull, who has been on Wall Street, just raping the American economy. Didn't want to say the word, William, but
it's okay.
Couldn't think of another one.
We're locally recording. I can always bleep it out when I edit Chase's numbers out.
Thank you. And then to the right of that, another animal. For most, a beloved figure. Most of his life was a heroic life. Balto the dog, who helped cure polio. I believe he actually came up with the vaccine. Yeah. He at least delivered it throughout Alaska. I know that much, but he also shit in yards. Okay, so take that one down. And for some levity, there is a little girl picking her nose in the bottom corner of that one that I always enjoy. It's my favorite part of that picture. Anyways, I am going to put all of this and more into an upcoming coffee table book. It will be called New York City Statue Conquests. There is an Instagram page at NYCSTATUECONQUESTS and my Venmo page at Punchur. You want to donate to the production? Thank you.
Woo! Great. First question from me. Has there ever been a statue that conquested you?
A statue that conquested me. There's some that I have not. Oh, I just realized how bright my light has got since the sun went down. There's some that I've not been able to climb yet that I want to. The Columbus Circle one's one of them. It's on a very, very high pedestal, and that's another one they're about to bring down. So I think I might have a chance whenever when they take it down, if I can hop it quick. But as of now, it's got the advantage.
Great, Chase, your question.
Yeah, if you ever get turned into a statue,
Yes.
if they ever made a statue of you, Roosevelt was riding a horse, everyone had these different poses. What would you like your pose to be?
I would like. Excellent question. Thank you. I would like to replace the Columbus Circle statue when they take it down. And I would like my statue to be halfway up the pedestal in climbing form. And then I would like to climb that.
Great. Ronnie, I saw you had a question.
Great. I have a two-parter, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, off the top of your head, name 3 statues, your favorite ones that you've climbed.
That I have climbed. The Columbus Circle Globe. That Yo statue in Brooklyn, and third one, the Love statue. I like the Love.
Now, marry, fuck, kill those statues.
Okay.
Yeah, we haven't done that bit yet on the board. We usually do for almost every final one.
I'll marry Love. I feel like that's good. And then I have the Globe, and what was the other one I said?
Columbus Circle.
But all right, so kill Columbus. Topical, and then also I'm not killing the whole globe, just fuck the world.
There it is.
Great. Yes, Tom.
Any injuries sustained from climbing statues? Perhaps maybe jumping down from one that's too high. Maybe there's a sharp point on one. Any injuries?
The Columbus Circle one, actually, it's that globe. The way that I was able to climb it, there's a railing nearby because it's at the top of a set of stairs. So I got on top of the railing and then was able to jump from the railing and catch one of the rings on the globe and kind of went like hand over hand up it to a point. And then whenever I dropped down, it was a very high drop. So I think I injured my ankle doing that. I don't think it broke or anything, but I remember limping for a while afterwards.
Ooh.
So no.
Impervious.
Great. Any other questions? Yes, Missy.
I know you talked a lot about New York statues. What city will you conquer in your next presentation?
I feel like Rome has a lot of statues, right?
It does.
I've heard almost 800 million, but that's using the test system.
Exact estimation.
Come climb the bean in Chicago.
Ooh,
That giant old silver bean. It's smug. It's
no
smug.
traction.
Get it up there.
Great. Any other questions for Robert? Oh, give it up for Robert. Yes. As we go into our final slide of the